Well, you certainly know how to compliment a woman. Well, if you'll excuse me.
Do you know who I am?
No, I can't say that I do.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
Really?
People know me.
Well, I'm very happy for you.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Kizzy's Friday Game Changers, taking your business to the next level.
Coming up on Kizzy's Friday Game Changers.
For me, the most important thing when hiring anybody is to make sure that they are actually right for our business and that they would fit within the culture that we have, which is very much about being in line with our values, which we call EPIC. So that's about being entrepreneurial, personable, intelligent and collaborative.
And also,
it's interesting that now, as we've helped educate partners and clients over the years, organisations are realising that sustainability is now on the agenda to stay.
All of this plus a Book of the Week recommendation from Richard Blanford, founder and chief executive of cloud and IT infrastructure company Fordway, and music from Dirty Snowman Society. Call your friends and spread the word. Tell them that Kizzy's Friday Game Changer show is the very best you've ever heard.
Number one means you're always on top. You're on to number one.
Hi, this is Ray Zen.
Hi, I'm Jamie Martin from Ideal Shopping Direct.
I'm Kate Bell, founder of Zip Us In.
Hi, my name is Eirik Eide Patterson. I'm a co-founder of Seaborg Technologies.
Hi, I'm Katie Farrell, transformation coach, founder of The Catalyst for Life.
Hey everybody, I'm David Frangioni, CEO and co-founder of All Access IDA, Inspire and Develop Artists, and you're listening to Kizzy's Friday Game Changer. Check it out.
Welcome to Kizzy's Friday Game Changers
with your host Kizzy Nkwocha,
a show for innovators and motivators, people just like you.
Kizzy is the publisher of Business Game Changer magazine and the property investor, editor of the successful Women in Business book series
and the best-selling Every Entrepreneur's Guide series.
Every week, Kizzy and his guests provide you with the tools you need to take your game-changing business to the next level.
Listen, learn and innovate.
Now meet your host, your mentor and your fellow game changer, Kizzy Nkwocha.
Hello and welcome to Kizzy's Friday Game Changers. This week I'm joined by Sam Rowe, CEO of Ignition, the world-class exhibition, events and experiences company. Now Ignition is a pretty outstanding organisation because it's founded on an ethos that's, well, it's really quite unique. Their ethos is people, planet and then profit. With a positive difference mission, Sam's built a company offering a positive experience for staff, partners and clients, as well as encouraging others in their industry to develop more sustainable practices. In just a few minutes, I'll be talking to Sam Rowe to uncover her secret formula for success. It's Friday, I'm Kizzy, and this is Kizzy's Friday Game Changers.
I'm Brian Stolley, founding partner of Wildcat Venture Partners.
Hey, Tanja Lee here, all the way from Melbourne, Australia. I'm a leadership and mindset specialist for real estate and property professionals.
Hi, I'm Jonathan from Amplify.
Hi, I'm Johnny Combe, CEO of Pay by Phone UK.
I'm Kenneth Hafianyo, the founder of Jogwefa, an ethical fashion brand based in Ho, Volta region, Ghana. My Friday is never the same without Kizzy's Friday Game Changers.
Welcome to the show. This week I have the honour and privilege to talk to Sam Rowe, CEO of Ignition and one of Business Game Changer magazine's top 10 UK women in business. Sam, it's amazing to have you join me.
Hi Kizzy, nice to meet you.
Sam, let's start at the very beginning. You began your career in the corporate sector working in business strategy and marketing for BAE Systems, a major aerospace and defence company. What made you decide to leave and start your own business?
Well, actually, I had a fantastic time at BAE, but during my time there, I decided to take a sabbatical of a couple of years and travel. And whilst I was doing that, I came back and decided actually I'd like to work on the agency side. So whilst at BAE, I got my first experience of events and exhibitions, and I worked with some great partners, and I decided that I actually wanted to go and work with one of them. So I left BAE and went to a creative agency that specialised in exhibitions. And during my time there, I met Claire Menzies, who's our CEO, and she was going through a partial business sale agreement with that agency and basically asked me if I wanted to go with her. So we left in December 2006, and then we set up Ignition in January 2007. And the rest is history, as they say.
It must have been quite a traumatic and, I don't know, I guess it must have been a huge shift moving from a paid employment to actually starting your own business. What were the early challenges you faced getting Ignition off the ground, and how did you overcome them?
Well, we were really fortunate to be able to start the business with one of our clients already on board with us. So that meant that we had a very small team of people that already had a number of projects to work on. We didn't have any offices, so we were fortunate enough to borrow an aircraft hangar from a good friend, and we worked out of there. We had a dial-up internet connection, terrible phone signal. You'd have to stand in the middle of a field to get signal. But nevertheless, we learned from that experience that actually if we really put our minds to it, we could achieve anything. So the major challenges were more not so much about growing the business, because we had a great contract that we knew that if we worked really hard, we could make that hugely successful, which we have done. And that client is still one of our clients now, almost 14 years on. It was more around the practicalities of, making sure we had a good space that we could operate in. So within 6 months of using the aircraft hangar, we then got a unit in Paintworks in Bristol, and we've moved on from there, just sort of getting more units as we've increased in terms of number of staff.
And tell me about increasing staff. What's your recruitment policy? Do you hire people according to their skills, or do you hire according to their attitude?
So for me, the most important thing when hiring anybody is to make sure that they are actually right for our business and that they would fit within the culture that we have. Which is very much about being in line with our values, which we call EPIC. So that's about being entrepreneurial, personable, intelligent, and collaborative. So we always make sure that people that are going to join us are in line with those values and that they really fit. For me, skill set is really important. And of course, we would always love people to come to us with lots of experience and show us what value they can add to the business. But I'm also a great believer that if you have the right values, you can teach the skills.
Yeah, I agree completely. I remember a couple of years ago, many years ago, I was being interviewed for a job at, I think it might have been either Informer or EMI, one of the large publishing companies. And the managing director, wonderful guy, who's a really good friend of mine now, said to me at the time that they, according to their company, they thought that the company's highest or most important asset was its people. What did I think? And I said to him, I don't agree. And Sam, when you say something and the room goes really quiet?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was me. I said, I don't agree. He looked at me and he said, what do you mean? And I said, well, I don't think your most important asset are your people. I think your most important asset are the right people. And I think if you've got the right people, you can achieve pretty much anything you want to do.
Absolutely. I mean, it's certainly the focus of our business has always been our people. We really care about our people. We make sure we can create an environment where they enjoy coming to work, that they're part of a team, and they know that when they join us, they can stay with us for as long as they choose. So we like to make sure we create a home where people can learn and develop and achieve all of their goals. So we have become very known, and I know this from recent interviews we've carried out, but we've become known in the industry for a business where you can join and you can take on a role, but you can really achieve anything. So as long as you're delivering the role that's asked of you, if you have other interests or other aspirations, you can certainly work towards those in our business. We want to retain our talent. For me, you invest so much money and time in people that we want to keep the good people with us long term. And we do have a very low turnover rate of staff, and we've got people that have been with us since day one.
Wow, that's amazing. And I know that your company is also dedicated to innovation, entrepreneurship, and the local economy. As part of this ethos, you support promising small businesses with your Incubator Hub program. What is the Incubator Hub and why is it needed?
Yes, that's right. So our Incubator Hub, which we set up a number of years ago, was born out of our sort of desire to support other businesses. So it was thinking about when we set up Ignition and all the things that we had to go through and what we'd learned, how could we then pass all that knowledge on to other businesses and help those people out there, those bright young things who want to do something amazing and have got an incredible skill set, but they don't necessarily have business experience to set up their business in the right way. So we felt that was our bit of sort of giving something back, and just supporting others and seeing what amazing things people could achieve. So we have a couple of businesses that sit in our Incubator Hub at the moment, and we support them. In particular, our senior team support them with the years of experience that they have got, whether that's in finance or in business management or strategy or creative thinking, just to make sure that those people have access to all the right knowledge that will put them on the perfect path for success.
Can you imagine how much easier life would have been for you when you started in this airplane hangar many, many years ago, if somebody had the Incubator Hub available to you at that time?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it would definitely have helped. I mean, I feel we were very fortunate to find over time some really good partners that helped us in the early years, whether that was in HR or in logistics or people that we could just go to, our finance people, our lawyers that we got to know over the years. They became so valuable to us as a business, and we all learned so much from them. So that was great. But the Incubator Hub just gives you, I mean, our people in our Incubator Hub currently have access to everybody in our group of businesses. So they could speak to anyone they want. So they might have an idea, they might not know who to ask, but there will be always someone in the company that they could just have a chat with. So for me, it feels like a great big blanket that's wrapped around these people to say, hey, whatever comes up, you can call any one of us and we'll point you in the right direction of who to speak to if we don't know the answer.
It sounds like you've created a silo-free environment there.
Yeah, absolutely. We are not siloed. That's one thing. We are a very open business. So whilst, of course, well, we do have a hierarchy. Most businesses do. And I certainly believe a little bit in that you have to have people that will make ultimate decisions in a business. But we are also very open and very flat. So anybody can talk to anybody in our business. And I mean, at the moment, the situation we're in, we run live events all over the world. And we are all very used to traveling. We're very sociable people. And at the moment, we are all working from home and we're all quite remote and we aren't able to do what we normally do. So that means that there are a lot of people that just want to have a chat. So at the moment, I do a lot of time on the phone, just talking to our team, just checking in with them, making sure that they're feeling good about things, and just some small questions that they just want to get some reassurance on for what we're doing as a business and what's going to happen to the future of events. Sometimes people just need to release that and have a chat. And that's what we're about as a business, is you can talk to anyone, you can come to anyone with any problems, and we know that there's always a way to fix things. As
you're speaking, I've had a note given to me. I'm just trying to read it. It's some really bad handwriting. It says that sustainability is at the heart. They've actually drawn a heart here, is at the heart of everything Ignition does. Now, your company aims to reduce carbon emissions by 10% annually until you're completely carbon negative. Why is sustainability so important to you?
So when we set up Ignition, sustainability was going to be at the core of what we intended to do with the company. So both Claire and I came from other businesses where sustainability wasn't even on the agenda. Now, if you know anything about the live events and exhibitions world, you'll know that people are building huge exhibitions all over the world on a daily basis. And, many years ago, you could go to an exhibit and then at the end of the show, you would see the whole hall filled with the kit that had just been taken down. So all the wood, the MDF, all the graphics, everything. And then it was just thrown in a skip. And for both Claire and I, that was horrific. And we did not want to be a business that did that. So we could see the opportunity for everybody in becoming sustainable as a company. So making sure when we design and build an exhibition, it is always able to be repurposed, reused in whatever shape and format. So our clients will have some have 20 shows a year, some have hundreds of shows a year, but they will reuse the same kit over and over and over again. So that means that they are reducing carbon emissions themselves, their carbon footprint, because they don't keep producing something over time, which is a complete waste and just goes in a bin and never gets reused again. It also saves them money in the long term because they invest in a kit and it gets reused. And yes, now and again, it has to be refurbished, but the overall savings that you make by having your own kit rather than renting something or building something new time and time again is quite huge. And also sustainability for us is not just about being eco-friendly, it's about being sustainable as a business. So it is about people and it's about planet and it's about profit. So every business has to make money and we are a very sustainable business. And at the moment, given where we are with COVID, that is becoming very apparent. As we sadly see some of our partners and suppliers sort of falling by the wayside in such terrible times, we set ourselves up to be sustainable and to be able to cope with going through more challenging times. So that's financially, with people, and with the planet in mind as well.
And your company, Ignition, was the first in this industry to achieve ISO 20121. That sounds like a huge achievement.
Yeah, so ISO 2012-1 came out of the London Olympics, which was supposed to be the first zero to landfill Olympics. And that standard was produced, and within a year or so of it being issued, we went through the process to make sure that we got that. So that allows us to really shout about what we do, and it gives us that proof to any clients that want to work with us, clients that want to be more sustainable. They know that every event we run is subject to huge and stringent sustainability measures. So we're trying to reuse everything where possible. We don't send stuff to landfill. We make sure we're using eco-friendly materials wherever possible, and reducing carbon footprint all over the world. So sustainability is absolutely at the core of what we do, and having that as a standard. And also we've won numerous awards for sustainability now as well. So that is something that in the last couple of years, whilst we feel we were sustainable and we set out to be sustainable from day one, it's interesting that now, as we've helped educate partners and clients over the years, organizations are realizing that sustainability is now on the agenda to stay. So again, with the current climate at the moment, is people are pausing and thinking about what they want to do, and being more sustainable is going to help them in the long run, not only about sort of their corporate social responsibility, but also financially.
As you're talking, I can feel the passion you're emanating from your office. It's amazing. Sam, you sound as though you're on a social mission, and it's not just about making money.
No, it's not. I mean, I love what I do. I love our company. And for me, the people are the key thing to that. So we want to make sure people feel valued when they come to work, that our clients love working with us, that they will go and, give us good feedback and talk very positively about us to other people. And that can't just be about making money. We want to show people how we as an organization and a bunch of people show really good value, and that we provide our clients with insight and we help them do a better job and make them look good as well. Of course, we've got to make money. We've got to. That's it. But that's not what it's all about for us.
I know in my introduction, I mentioned Ignition's rather unique ethos of people, planet, and then profit. Now, at Ignition, what are you doing to promote a positive mental and physical health in the workplace?
So, as I said, we really care about our team and we want to make sure that they enjoy coming to work. So we run a number of programs. As I said, we have a very open door policy, so people can come and talk to us as and when they want to. We run every Friday, and we're still doing it now. Whilst we're all remote, we're doing it virtually, but we have a company boot camp that everybody can go to, and it's tailored whether you want to do some Pilates or you want to go and do a 10K run. You can do whatever you want or gear up to anything you want to during that boot camp. We try to do as much social stuff as we can to just get people, when new people join us, we want to sort of bring them in and make sure that they feel part of the team and that they have access to whatever they need. So it's really about being focused on people's well-being and just making sure that people feel that they can speak up in the organization, and anybody who has an idea can come to us. We are open to change. We are constantly evolving as a business, and we know that the best people to help us do that are the team that we have.
A very admirable philosophy, and one that we should all try to emulate. I think we can all relate to that, Sam, but hold that thought. We're going to take a quick break and come back to our conversation in a few minutes. This week's boss star is Dirty Snowman Society. God, I hope I got that right. Dirty Snowman Society, which I'm told is a rock band based in Copper Mountain, Colorado. Now, this 4-piece band consists of who we got? We've got Frank Constantini on vocals, drums and percussion, Johnny Law on lead guitar, Patrick Lifante on bass, and Chris Todoroff on guitars and percussion. Now, Dirty Snowman Society came together from a very diverse background. I mean, these guys have worked in as TV directors. They've been best-selling authors, a touring metal band member. I'm not sure what that is, but a touring metal band member, a ski and surf instructor. They've done it all. But the one thing that holds them together is their love for classic hard rock. That's what inspired them to become musicians, and that's what inspired them to produce music like this. This track is called Mad Bull. Take it away, guys. Get in touch with Kizzy's Friday Game Changers by emailing fridaygamechangers@email.com and follow us on Twitter by searching for Kizzy's Friday Game Changers.
Don't need nothing, I've got the buzz.
I'm Brian Stolley, founding partner of Wildcat Venture Partners.
Hey, Tanja Lee here, all the way from Melbourne, Australia. I'm a leadership and mindset specialist for real estate and property professionals.
Hi, I'm Jonathan from Amplify.
Hi, I'm Johnny Combe, CEO of Pay by Phone UK.
I'm Kenneth Hafianyo, the founder of Jogwefa, an ethical fashion brand based in Ho, Volta region, Ghana. My Friday is never the same without Kizzy's Friday Game Changers.
On your friendly news. Yeah, just repeat it until they believe it. Just repeat it until they believe it. Just repeat it until they believe it. Let go behind the wall. Bring on the matador.
Love this game-changing interview? Share your thoughts by posting a comment. Sharing is caring.
Kizzy's Friday Game Changer, Book of the Week.
Hi, Richard Blanford, Chief Executive and founder of Fordway. We're an IT services and cloud computing specialist based in Godalming in Surrey. We've been around 28 years and currently 10 million revenue and 70 staff. The book I'd like to recommend is called Traction by Gino Wickman. Reason for the recommendation is that it's a very, very good guide for anybody running or managing a medium or small to medium-sized business, which provides both the framework and a set of extremely useful tools to help you run your business better. The basic principles that Gino espouses, I believe, came from him, devouring pretty much every piece of management literature, probably from the late 90s or mid to late 90s and the early noughties. And what he then did is he then condensed this into a process which he calls EOS, or the Entrepreneurial Operating System, which provides a good template and processes to run your business more effectively, which covers the main disciplines. I read the book, immediately was impressed enough to then go out and find what's called an EOS implementer to help us put this process into our business. And I'm very glad to say that 2.5 years after starting the process, it's really helped us with a lot of the day-to-day management running of the business and significantly improved our business performance. So if you are looking for a better way to run your business and not happy with how it's going at the moment, please, Traction by Gino Wickman, read a copy, and delighted to help anybody who would like any help on how you take it forwards and what it can do for your business.
Welcome back. Before the break, you're listening to Dirty Snowman Society. I love saying that. Dirty Snowman Society performing Mad Bull. And I'm in the studio talking to Sam Rowe, CEO of Ignition. Sam, tell me about this award that you guys won a couple of months ago. The Queen's Award for what?
Yes, so we were really proud to win the Queen's Award for Enterprise in Sustainable Development. So we're one of only 19 companies in the UK that won in that specific category for sustainability. So really, that was the epitome of our journey on becoming sustainable and making our clients far more sustainable. So it was absolutely the icing on the cake for us. And we are have an invitation to Buckingham Palace at some point.
Wait, are you going to get to meet the Queen as well?
Well, I'm not sure if it's the Queen or maybe Prince Charles, because he's so into the whole sustainability side of things. So maybe it's him. We don't know yet. It would have been this summer, but sadly it's postponed until another time.
If you meet Prince Charles, are you going to courtesy?
I guess I have to. Get practicing.
You better. Seriously, but congratulations. It's an amazing award. And I think it's fantastic that you guys have won this, because it means that if you can do it, other businesses can follow in your way, can try to do the same thing.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's part of what we set out to do. I mean, ultimately, we wanted to become advocates for sustainability and to go out and help others and educate people in it. And really, that's what we can now do. And we try to do that with our partners and our supply chain to make sure that they need to understand what we're trying to achieve as an end goal when we're delivering projects, and they need to live up to the same standards as us. So they may not want to go out and get all of the credentials and awards and things, but they need to act in the same way as we do, and we need to be able to trust them to do that. So that's definitely something that we've done over the last few years in particular.
Fantastic. Congratulations again. Now, we're at the part of the show we call the past, present, and future. Now, what this means is that I'm going to ask you 3 questions about your business past, your business present, and your future. And if we get this right, the answers will give us a unique insight into the mind of game changer Samantha Rowe. Are you game?
Okay, I'm game.
Fantastic. Okay, look, I want you to just relax, put your feet up, close your eyes, and imagine you can hear a clock ticking in the background. That's the sound of time passing by second after second. Imagine yourself traveling back in time to meet the young Sam Rowe just starting out on her game-changing journey. What one thing would you tell Sam to make sure she does, and what one thing would you tell her to make sure she never does?
So, gosh, that's a big question. So I would, so something I've definitely learned over the years, whether that's in business or in personal decisions I made, is to always go with my gut feel for things. And that is something that I've tried to pass on to people in our business over the years as well. You may need to make a big decision, and you've sort of got your head telling you, you should do this. This is the right thing to do. This is what other people do. This is what the company should do. But then you have a little niggle. It's either something in your mind or something in your stomach that's telling you to do something different. I would always tell myself to do that thing that I was feeling inside rather than what my head was telling me to do. When I do that now, I make the right decisions every time. And I think that's just something that you learn as a business person, as you go through your career. You get to understand yourself better as well, and you learn from decisions that you've made that weren't so good and ones that you've made that were brilliant.
Do you think that that's a quality or a skill or an element of yourself that you develop because of your growth in confidence? Because the more confident you are in yourself, the more likely you are to listen to that small voice that just whispers in your ear.
Yes, absolutely. I think so. And also experience, just years of doing that. Once you've done it once, sometimes you might feel like you're taking a bit of a risk because, somebody else did it in a different way. But actually you learn that that's okay. And that's why we've become so successful. So the confidence of years of experience and then the confidence of being a successful business has certainly helped me be able to do that on a regular basis now.
See, now I'm thinking to myself that if you rely a lot on instinct, sometimes you can't really explain even to yourself why you think something means a certain thing, which kind of suggests that you're going to have to be really comfortable with uncertainty then, because you're never entirely 100% sure why you think or feel what you do. Are you comfortable with uncertainty?
I've certainly become more comfortable with uncertainty. Yeah, that's for sure. And actually, I think it's things like, when you're interviewing people or, just meeting people, you get a feel for things. And when you've done it so many times, I think you become more confident at taking a risk and knowing that actually, if it doesn't work out, that doesn't matter. We're not the kind of people that are scared to stop something if we feel it's going on the wrong path, or to say, do you know what, actually that was the wrong decision. Let's stop and start again. So I think when you can do that, you don't have to make a decision forever. You can make a decision based on how you feel about something, based on your experience and your knowledge, and you hope that that's the right thing to do at that point in time. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, and we just start again.
I suppose the truth is we don't always make the right decision, but we can make our decisions right further down the line.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There's, people fail, as we all know, people fail many times at things, sometimes before they have any success. And that's part of learning and growing as a person and as an organization. And we don't always get it right. We try, and we think we do most of the time, but we don't always get it right.
Here's a question for you, Sam. If you could have one superpower in the world, any superpower, what would you have?
Well, right now, I can say for sure that my superpower would be able to see the future.
Aha. And we're going back to that question of uncertainty, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, specifically for our industry of live events at the moment, just with this uncertainty and just not knowing what's happening, people are asking me all the time, what do I think is going to happen with the live event industry next year? When are things going to pick up? Well, things are starting to pick up in the UK and some other countries, which is a great thing. It would just be great to know sometimes when you live in such times of uncertainty, what might be around the corner.
I understand, and I completely feel exactly the way you do as well. But I also believe that people like you and Claire, it doesn't really matter what happens. You'll always find a way of making things work.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's what we've had to do now. So given that there are very few live events going on in the world, we've absolutely had to transform our business into far more of a digital agency. So in terms of delivering events now, the majority, 99% of what we're delivering right now is virtual. And that has been a huge challenge for us as a company, for the people in the business. People have had to take on new skills, learn things basically overnight to be able to still deliver projects that we would have been delivering all over the world in a live environment digitally. And, we've had amazing positive feedback from our clients for what we've been able to do for them in such a short time to still allow them to have presence at some of these huge exhibitions. But it's definitely been a massive learning curve for us, and we're still learning. And there is a wealth of things that you could do out there in the virtual world. So we are pivoting the business in that sense to make sure that we are ready for more and more digital virtual events as they happen, but we are also still there ready to pick up live events when they come back on the scene, hopefully at the beginning of next year.
I guess when you feel a great big wind blowing in your face, you can either build a wall or you can start working out how to build windmills, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Sink or swim, right? That is what is happening to a lot of people in our industry at the moment. And it takes a lot. We've got some amazing people in our team, and it is a huge amount of effort and dedication to suddenly change the business, change the way we do things, change the people we work with, learn new skills. It's been huge, and I am so immensely proud of what everybody has done to pull together. And that's all about that collaborative spirit that we have. Like you say, when the wind blows, we really do get a great big windbreaker out there, and we charge forward with it, and we will make things happen. We will make sure we can deliver for our clients. We will make sure we can keep our employees in the company, and we will do everything we can to ensure the long-term sustainability of the business.
I suspect if anybody can do it, I'm pretty sure you can, Stan. That's the past taken care of. Let's go into the present, into the here and now. When things go wrong or when things don't go as right as they should, how do you handle failure?
Well, I guess it's linked to what we were talking about just now. Failure for me, nobody wants to fail at things, but I think it's part of life, and I think it's part of learning. And again, you have to try things sometimes that you might not have a huge amount of certainty that will work. But if you want to make a difference and you want to have a company that is different from others, then you have to be prepared to take risks. And sometimes things don't work out. But we as a business and me as an individual will always make sure we learn as much as we can from those failures or those mistakes or those decisions that weren't quite right, and make sure that it doesn't happen again. Good idea.
I know that one company that I worked in, we used to have meetings where this was one of my crazy ideas, where we would talk about things that we tried and that didn't work. And then we asked the question, what did I learn from it? And then we'd explain what we've learned from that experience and what we're going to do moving forward. And that actually worked really well. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. That's how people develop. That's how businesses develop. And then you can call on other people within your teams. When you're thinking about doing something, you can ask, has that done before? What happened when it was done before? What did we learn? What would you do differently? So I think that is just building knowledge within a business.
Well, you've handled the past and the present with infinite ease, and I kind of knew you would. So let's move forward into the future. Let's move forward 10 years and imagine that we're still mates and you're still taking my call. What will you be doing in 10 years' time, Sam?
So we will still have the business, and we will have grown that business to a certain size. We don't plan to do anything with the business to sell it or anything like that. We want to remain this independent business that is a great home for people where they can achieve their goals. We would like to have a handful more of clients. There are some specific clients that we'd like to work with, that we'd like to get on our books. That's what we're working to right now. And perhaps maybe I would be working a little bit more part-time than full-time.
Hear, hear. I think that's a goal that we should all be trying to achieve as well. I've got thousands and thousands of questions still to ask you, but I've got a light flashing on my screen saying that we've gone way past our allocated time. But before we do say goodbye, is there anybody out there you'd like to say hello to, Sam?
Well, I'd just like to say hello to the whole of our team. We are obviously in a hugely challenging period right now, and I just can't thank them all enough for everything they're doing to adapt to our new ways of working, to be flexible in what we're asking people to do, to put in the huge amount of hours that they're having to do and work around all the challenges that the current COVID situation gives them, you know, the childcare things, the homeschooling that people had to do over the summer, as well as trying to do a job. So I just want to thank them all. And I feel, you know, there is light at the end of the tunnel now, and that may well be a way off, but we are working towards getting our business back to doing what we do best. So getting out there on the road and delivering some big live events for our clients.
What a fantastic note to end the interview on. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Sam, it's been an amazing experience getting to spend some time with you on Kizzy's Friday Game Changers. Thank you so much for sharing your insight and your wisdom.
Thank you, Kizzy.
Well, the time I spent with Sam Rowe has taught me that corporate social responsibility isn't a particular program. Who knew that? I didn't. It's what we do every day, maximizing positive impact and minimizing negative impact. And just by talking to Sam, I figured out that when the wind blows, there are those who build huge walls, and then there are people like Sam who build windmills. This is a lesson that game changers like Sam Rowe are teaching us every single day. Listen, learn, and innovate. Playing us out is Dirty Snowman Society, and this track's called Taste of Heaven. See you next week.
It darkens every situation. All my failures, all your needs, cut me down, no hesitation. You just love to watch me bleed. I accept your invitation to fill the empty place in me, condemned again by the temptation. Just a way of feeling. Bring me down. Bring me down. Oh, bring me down. Let me taste your poison. Fill me with your disease. Take me down to your underground, baby, where I can breathe. Your slice of hell, your slice of hell, your slice of hell tastes like heaven to me.
Love this game-changing interview? Share your thoughts by posting a comment. Sharing is caring.
I'm Brian Stolley, founding partner of Wildcat Venture Partners, and my Fridays wouldn't be the same without Kizzy's Friday Game Changers.
Bring me to my knees, destroy my chances for salvation. Feed all the demons left in me. Bring me down. Bring me down. Oh, bring me down. Let me taste your poison. Fill me with your disease. I'll take me down to your underground, baby, where I can breathe. Your slice of hell. Your slice of hell. Your slice of hell.
The world famous Game Changer Show. Game Changer Show. Game Changer Show.